Welcome to the Okie Woodsman channel. My name is Joe. Have you ever regretted a purchase you made? Don't you hate that? You spend a few $100s on something, you realize you should have just done something else. Either you should have bought a bigger one, you should have bought a more flexible one, you should have bought a different brand, or whatever. Since I've moved out on my 12-acre property in rural Oklahoma, I definitely regret my Echo SRM 2620. It's not because it's a bad unit. It's because it's simply not flexible enough. All it can do well is what it's configured for at the moment. You can go between a string trimming head and a brush cutting head, but that requires swapping out parts on the bottom end. It's not a real big deal, but it is a big deal if you might need both of those things out in the field during a task. My solution was to have a different power head on each of those tools. So I had a battery powered pole saw, string trimmer, and a trimmer set up with a brush cutting attachment on the bottom. That's not very efficient. When I originally purchased my original SRM 2620, I wanted a professional unit. That aspect of the trimmer has not disappointed me. Its reliability, its fuel efficiency, it's easy to start. None of that has been a problem at all. The trimmer has been absolutely fantastic. What I have here is I have the red version of the orange Echo. This is the Shindaiwa M262. It would be equivalent to the 2620 PAS system that Echo has. This trimmer is identical with a couple upgrades. The most important upgrade is this trigger. I have a whole other video talking about that, so we're not going to go there. The big difference on this unit is the fact that it has this coupling right here. That enables me to swap between the pole saw and the brush cutting attachment. What that's enabled me to do is to clear out some clutter in my limited space. Now I only have one engine to maintain, and my SRM 2620 has been operating perfectly well for over 5 years. Never a hiccup. I have been using the string trimmer on the Shindaiwa unit today, and that has worked absolutely as expected. No difference at all between my SRM 2620 and this unit here. I have some more of that to go. I figured it would be a good time to use the pole saw and the brush cutter. So let's get started. And I have to be honest, it is not all flowers here. There's something I don't like about this pole saw unit, that Echo. I don't understand what they were thinking. These bar nuts are not standard bar nuts. They're smaller, and I don't like that. I've never done this, so this is going to be here on camera. Just loosen up this coupler here, pull the pin, pull that out. I personally prefer not running my guard, but you probably ought to run your guard. This is a little bit of a tight fit here. I don't know if it's because it's new or what. There it is. This is configured with a harness. I don't have it on right now because I'm just doing a quick demo, but I'm going to take some of these limbs off of this hickory tree here. With a chainsaw attachment, you've got to be aware of where that bar is at all times. Well, now I've got a mess to clean up. This is a little bit tight. This is a 10-inch bar, got an oil reservoir, and for some reason, those weird bar nuts. Before I do my string trimming, I want to try out this brush cutter setup here. There it is. This fit a lot more easily than the chainsaw did. The pole saw, I should say. All right, so we're set up with a brush cutter now. This is the first run. As you can tell, that's not going to be a grass cutter, but that is sure a brush cutting fool. The flexibility there is absolutely awesome. Now, the main task I have to get done, this is going to spend the most time on here without a doubt, is the string trimmer. Real simple, you got that little pin there, and tighten that up, and we're ready to go. We're set to go take care of the berm at the front of the property. There's a few great brands out there, but Echo, I believe, is at the top of their game, especially when it comes down to string trimmers. A lot of professional guys use them. The Shindaiwas are just a little less prevalent, but there's not a reason for it. I do not know why. They're produced side by side on the same assembly line with better parts, or I should say better features like that trigger. If you're interested in a new string trimmer, make sure you check out my links at sawsuppliers.com, discount code OKI10. You're not going to get a better deal, and it is free shipping within the United States. Now I'm going to get to string trimming, and I'll leave some of that footage in here as well if you'd like to see it. My wife has asked that I don't hit her bulbs. I don't know what kind they are, but that's going to be pretty tough. I want to show you what happens when you try to cut this woody stuff with a trimmer line instead of that trimmer. It kind of works. What ends up happening is you end up with these torn up, half cut off sticks sticking up in the air. That's why that brush cutter is going to be great. There's absolutely no difference except for improvements from my SRM 2620. This is what I should have bought in the first place. Thank you for watching the Okie Woodsman channel, and we will see you on the next one. That trigger is so much better.